not supposed to be green, like fake's not supposed to be seen. The sky's not supposed to touch the ground, and a square's not supposed to be round. The moon's not supposed to touch the sun, and a two is not supposed to be a one. Said the heart's not supposed to weigh a ton, and forever's not supposed to be done. Winter's not supposed to come in June, and I am not supposed to have the blues. There are so many things that are not supposed to be there.
Greetings to you all. I want to primarily say thank you for allowing God to put me before you and share my story, experiences about a man who is not just a celebrity, but a human being, child of God, a son, a brother, uncle, father, grandchild, a nephew, a cousin, a godfather, a godbrother, and a friend. My name is Alicia Evans, also known as LeLe. I'm here today to speak to you about the positive and inspirational aspects of Robert Sylvester Kelly Sr., also known as Rkelly, the king of R&B, as well as a legend and musical genius in any genre. I am the god-sister of Robert Kelly through consecration at Salem Baptist Church in Chicago, Illinois, under the leadership of Reverend James Meeks. After Meeks asked 4 women to stand up and take cover over my brother, Rkelly, as he was giving his life to Christ, my mother was one of those 4 women to have stood up, and he chose her after hearing her name was Teresa, is spelled exactly as his sister. So that made him her godson and my godbrother. Aren't I lucky? Yes, I am. Right now, I would like to point out the positive and inspirational things that he has done, yet it's not limited to the Virginia massacre, the Illinois club stampede, and other spontaneous honorable deeds. I want to point these things out because right now in the media, they're still talking negative about him. The social media condemns him before he even had a trial. And I'm here to counteract that, to let you hear the characteristics of this person who is not just a celebrity, but is a human being and a man. Okay? Rkelly, I don't know if you know, some of you may know and some of you may not know, but Rkelly is well known for I Believe I Can Fly. That's the song which started off his gift as a musical genius. You have to forgive me because I get choked up when I'm talking about him, so you guys just bear with me, please, as I get through this. And Lord, I just ask that you give me the strength to get through this as well. And I thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. That song, I Believe I Can Fly, was on the soundtrack of the first Space Jam movie starring another legend basketball player, Michael Jordan. Rkelly wrote the song Rise Up as a tribute to the people, to the people lost at the hands of the 2007 Virginia Tech shooting, which left 32 people dead. This track was included on some releases outside of North America, and 100% of the proceeds went to the families of the Virginia Tech massacre. In the 2003 E2 club tragedy in Illinois, where 21 patrons, 12 women, and 9 men between the ages of 19 and 43 were pronounced dead from compressional asphyxiation, they was trampled on, they was stampeded on, trying to get out of this club, fighting for their lives, just as my brother's fighting for his. He donated $10,000 to all 21 families toward their funeral services because he is a native of Chicago, and he's a very caring person that loves to help people, especially in the time of need. He has written many inspiring songs. I wrote them down because I have an issue with memory, so if it sounds like I'm reading because I jotted down my little notes so I know to stay on point with you guys because I can get off track when I'm talking about him. But to name a few of those inspiring songs: Trade in My Life, Prayer Changes, I Surrender, You Saved Me, Storm is Over, Hold On, World's Greatest, inspired by the legendary heavyweight boxer Muhammad Ali's story, The Victory, which was custom made for the 2010 World Cup in Africa, Freeway Call, I Believe, A Change Gonna Come, Remix, If I Could Turn Back the Hands of Time, and many more that are not released yet. However, he has written many gospel and inspirational songs, and he's just not finished with them. But I know he will finish them once he comes home. Just a recap to those that may not even know who Rkelly is. He is a native of Chicago, Illinois, born on January 8, 1967. He is the son of the late aspiring singer Miss Joanne Kelly, a father of 3 children, a brother of siblings, and he is currently going through a trial that an appeal is being proposed for the allegations that led him to be tried and convicted through the media on unnecessary federal charges that came about from failed relationships, greed, and accusations, in my opinion. I strongly believe that he was found guilty of those charges due to not having a balanced defense of character witnesses, nor was the attorney that joined his defense team towards the start of his trial prepared to present a great defense due to not having ample amount of time for the case. Failed relationships or friendships is not a legitimate reason for bringing forth the type of allegations that led my brother Rkelly to receive a guilty verdict. Just because a relationship or friendship doesn't end well doesn't mean that a person go out and make accusations or get this person locked up just because they're angry at them. That's sad, and that is not legal. That is actually considered a crime too. Rkelly is not perfect, okay? And neither are we. However, he is also not guilty of all the things that the accusers are accusing him of. He is a man of good character. He is a humble, shy, loving, caring, inspirational, non-boastful, and family type of guy. For my opinion, after seeing this happen to him and looking back, I feel that he was surrounded himself by several people that God is now removing from his presence as he allows him to sit in the MDC Brooklyn Temporary Dwelling Federal Institution, based on the fact that because of his loving, caring, and forgiving spirit, and due to the fact that he probably wouldn't have removed himself from those persons that possibly didn't have his best interest at hand, was God's only way for him to get out of that. He had people that were surrounded by him that was doing things that was unethical without his knowledge. But yet, because he is who he is and they was around him, the celebrity, he was the one being blamed for their actions. Is that fair? No, it's not. Did he get convicted of stupid stuff like that? Yes, he did. There's people out there still doing stupid stuff behind his name. There's people out there still making money off his name. They're using my brother's traumatic situation that he's going through right now to gain fame, write books, tell stories. It's not about you. It's about him. You're living your life. His life is on hold, although days are still going past and he's breathing. But his real life, the living part of his life, is on hold. And that's not fair. But the world isn't fair, is it? No, it's not. Anyway, I don't want you guys to get it misconstrued. My brother have a handful of good friends and family around. But because of his celebrity status, they too were even looking for him to cover their expenses on any and everything while they were in his presence. My brother always made it known to his lady acquaintances that he had more than one woman. And I'm going here because this is kind of like what got these women all caught up to want to bring allegations and accusations and charges towards him because of this. But this is something that they know when they first enter a relationship with him, that he has more than one woman, and that's not a crime. And what their relationship activities are or was, that's nobody else's business. There's 12 months in a year. If we can just take 6 months of minding our own business and the other 6 months to leave other people alone, we'd be better off, probably be less judgmental. My brother's a private person. He has a disability of not being able to read or write on the level that matches his age. Not saying he can't write at all. Not saying he can't read at all. He just can't do it on the level of a 54-year-old. And people took advantage of that. But they'll reap what they sow behind that. His choice to date and befriend younger legal ladies is also not a crime. I'm going to keep it real with you. I asked my brother a while back, why did he like women that was younger than him? instead of some that was the same age as him. And his response was, he liked to help the less fortunate become the people that they thought was impossible to be, or that they didn't have room to seek their goals because of their upbringing and possible broken home. He always thought that he could make somebody better than what they were. No, he didn't seek out to make everybody a singer. He seeked out for friendship. And some of those friendships turned into a relationship. But they were of age. It doesn't matter if they're 20 years younger than him. They're still of age. They're still legal. And that's not against the law. That's not a crime. Okay? And to be honest, he has had relationships with women his age. But come on now, ladies. Y'all know how we are. If we dated a man of his standards, we would have wanted the world and not cared how much money he had to spend or sacrifices he had to make monetarily to give us that world. Y'all know this. Okay? So, with my brother, Rkelly, he likes to grow in his relationships with the person that he chooses that sincerely love him and have genuine motives of caring about him. My brother differentiates love and caring. To him, love is what we're supposed to do because that is what God says. Love one another as you love thyself. But to care about a person shows a little bit more emotional feelings behind a relationship or a friendship. All my brother was interested in was repetitious daily routines of certain things once he actually fell asleep, waking up to his coffee, a pastry, a breakfast sandwich, being in the studio for hours that led to days, creating music for not just himself but other artists too, going to cigar bars, working out, being amongst people that he thought were all loyal friends and family, playing basketball to wee hours of the morning. I'm gonna share a couple of stories with you guys. Okay, so bear with me as I do so. I'm glad to have the liberty to witness these things because him being the celebrity that he is, I wouldn't have never thought that celebrities did things like this. And these things that he did went unnoticed just because the camera crew probably wasn't around or just because the right person that could have said something about it wasn't around, which means that you don't know him. All these people that's out here judging him, you don't know him. You don't know him personally. And you probably don't even know him socially. And just because you be around somebody don't mean you know somebody. My brother do not like hurting people's feelings. Okay? Not about a singing career or none of that. He's just honest when it comes to it. Because he's the king of R&B. He knows music. He dreams music. He eats music. He sleeps music. So he knows music. And he knows how music should sound. He knows what to make a hit and what won't. But I remember one time that I went to his studio. It was the Chicago Track Studio in Chicago somewhere. And he was playing the instrumental track to Missing You by Diana Ross. And he told me to attempt to sing along with it. And he operated like the keyboard synchronizer, whatever you call that thing. And then he played it back, and I sounded like a real singer. I was like, oh, yeah, even though I knew I couldn't sing. Then he played it again in my regular voice. I sounded terrible. Lord Jesus. I sounded like a hot mess. But he replied with a whole bunch of work. You might be able to hold a tune one day. And we laughed about it because he's just crazy. And then there was another moment where it was me, him, and his aunt. We was at a Walmart because we was on tour with him, and we was traveling, and we stopped at this Walmart. Yes, he goes to Walmart. He is human. He is a man, a human man, not just a celebrity, Rkelly. So we went inside of this Walmart. I'm pushing the basket. He throwing all kinds of stuff in the basket. He's not looking at no prices. I don't even think he was looking at what he was throwing in the basket, but he was throwing it in there. And next thing you know, our basket is full. So we go to the checkout line. He goes to the subway inside of the Walmart because, again, he don't like to be noticed. He don't like that type of attention on him. So he went with his hood on, his shades, and sat in the subway. And he gave me some money that he figured all that stuff in the basket may cost. But there was a lady, or not a lady, I'm sorry, there was a customer. I don't know if she was a lady or a man, I don't remember. But there was a customer behind us with a few items. And as he was giving me money and getting ready to go to the subway to sit down, he told me to let that person behind me go in front of me and to pay for their stuff as well. Generosity, caring, loving person, a human being, right there with that act. So I did that. I let that customer go in front of me. I paid for the items. They was very excited and happy. Thanked me for doing it and went on about their business. Got back on the Sprinter, went on to our next destination. Now we in California. We chilling. We at a Starbucks across from a college, waiting on Uncle Bug to purchase my brother's coffee and this little cookie that he likes. It started with an M. Mandolins or something like that. You'll know the cookie. It's inside of Starbucks. But anyway, the line was real long, and we needed to get back on the road. So my brother whispered to Uncle Bug and told him to ask the Caucasian lady that was next in line if he can get in front of her. She was nice enough to let him get in front of her. And as she was facing her order, my brother handed Uncle Bug her money and told him to give it to the lady, but don't say that it came from him. Just give it to her. So as the lady was walking out the door, Uncle Bug gave her the money. She said thank you. And she spotted my brother as she was walking out while he was sitting at the table. But she didn't say anything. She went on out the door. So I guess when she got outside, she must have looked at the money and counted it or whatever. And when she counted it, she came back inside of the Starbucks. And she came straight over to him. And she thanked him with tears in her eyes, just crying. I mean, crying hard. No matter how many times I tell this story, I get emotional behind it. She was trying so hard because the amount of money that Uncle Bud had put in her hand was the exact amount of money that she needed for a course at her college. And she did not know how she was going to get that money for that course. She didn't know she would have to drop out or what, or withdraw from that course and not be able to graduate. She didn't know. But nobody but God sent my brother in that place to have him sitting there. Bless the woman with that money. And to be the exact amount that she needed. Caring, loving, human being did that for somebody he didn't even know. A stranger. He once told me a stranger make a best friend quicker than a friend that you know. And I never understood what he meant by that, but I do know now. Excuse me. Okay. Oh, Lord. And then there was another time we was walking down the street, and I think we was looking for a spot to sit down somewhere at or whatever. And my brother noticed that a young man had on some gym shoes that had holes in the toe part of the shoe. And he told Uncle Bud, I know y'all like, man, Uncle Bud do everything. Well, Uncle Bud is his Mama Joanne's only brother. So he was around my brother, and my brother trusted him. So that's why you going to hear me always say Uncle Bud did this, Uncle Bud did that. But he told Uncle Bud to go over there and ask the young man what size shoe he wore. That young man so happened to wear the size shoe that my brother had on. The shoes my brother had on, he probably wore maybe 1 or 2 times. But he took them off his feet and he gave them to that boy and told Uncle Bud to pass him his slides off the Sprinter. Another act of a caring, loving human being. just don't understand why they're doing this. You know, when I sit here and I look over my little notes and I see all the good stuff that he has done, it just hurts and it just breaks my heart. And he's in that place where he's at, all because of scorned relationships and people want money. I'm sorry. I am going to get through this because it must be said. Y'all have to know the human being side of him, the good side of him, and not just what y'all hear about him. Oh, God. Another story. I was with him when we went to Whitney Young High School for him to play basketball. He would normally go to different high schools and play basketball against some of the teammates at those schools. He went to Whitney Young and they played basketball. And then normally he would give a speech or some encouraging words afterwards, just telling them to, strive for perfection, be what they want to be. They want to be a basketball player, be that. They want to be a singer, be that. They want to be a track star, be that, and so on. Well, this particular day, it was a little boy there that didn't make the team. And after my brother had gave his encouraging words to them and said his little speech and everything, the little boy caught a seal. He thanked him. My brother didn't know what he was thanking him for. And that baby told my brother that he did not make the basketball team and that he was about to go home and commit suicide because that's how much making that basketball team meant to him. But because my brother gave that speech and encouraged him, he changed his mind. Just imagine a mother finding her child dead, all because of something he didn't achieve. That's a painful thought. But to know that my brother, Robert Sylvester Kelly, Rkelly, was involved in changing that young man's mind about it without even knowing what he was going to do, is a powerful, gifted, Christ-like thing. Another act of caring, loving, in a human being. Oh, excuse me for a minute. I'm sorry. I should have muted the phone. And no, I don't have coronavirus. It's just a snotty nose right now. But anyway, with all this being said, seriously though, how could people sit up here and think that my brother, Robert Sylvester Kelly, Rkelly, would abuse anybody? This man don't even like people to kill insects. He'll tell us to open up the door or window and let the insect go free. Me, I see an insect, I'm instantly trying to kill it. I'll be stepping on grasshoppers. But he cares about the little things. I heard that from somewhere, the little things. But yeah, he cares. Social media and news outlets try to make Kelly sound like a monster, a person that sought out his relationships through a visit to McDonald's, where he frequently eats. I mean, I'm just going to let you know, I'm here to reiterate this because I'm sure some of you guys may have heard me talk on a gentleman, Dr. Rice's channel, and kind of like bring humanity to my brother on there. But I'm going to reiterate that. Okay, McDonald's is symbolic to him. based on it being a place where him and his mother, Mama Joe, would go and share coffee in a Danish. Okay? That's symbolic to him. His trunk car, his condo was on the 48th floor, but he could sit, I call it the round table. He could sit right there by the window and look down and see the M, because that's what fascinated him, the M on the McDonald's, because to him that was mother. And it was mother because of that's the place where they went and ate at. That's the place they could afford to eat and share food. So it was a symbolic memory for him. America, we need to wake up. We need to wake up and stop making false accusations against our men of color and having them incarcerated off of a relationship or friendship gone bad or depleted funds. And I say depleted funds because these women that was around my brother loved to shop. They loved that lifestyle, that lavish lifestyle, that luxury type of lifestyle. Probably had never had it a day in their life. But he was happy to be able to give them that. And that's the type of man he was. Again, a caring, loving human being. It's a lot of people incarcerated for crimes they didn't do. This could be your loved one. This could even be you next. All I'm asking y'all to do is see my brother Rkelly as the man that he is, Robert Sylvester Kelly. Rkelly is his stage name. Okay, and it's still that same individual, but when he get on stage, he becomes a performer. He becomes Rkelly, and Rkelly is the person that these women draw themselves to. Robert Sylvester Kelly is just a mama's boy, like he said before. I think in something where they was talking to him at. And I know that to be true. He is a mama's boy. When I met his mama, that's the first thing she said. That's my special child right there. And not meaning special like he was slow or remedial or nothing like that. She knew that he was born with a gift of music, which makes him the musical genius that he is. I just want y'all to see him as a child of God who was created in God's image, just like you and I. And made correctable mistakes. Mistakes can be corrected. The judge in the flesh may have found him guilty. But we serve a God that sits high and look low. And he has the final decision. He, God, is the final decision maker in all aspects of life, in everybody's life, in every situation. I need you guys to keep Robert Sylvester Kelly, Rkelly, my God brother, in your prayers. Allow him to rise up like he wanted those families in Virginia that lost their loved ones. Allow him to rise up. Because where he is, as his son said, he's not supposed to be. And he had wrote that song, but he had to release while he was incarcerated. Because again, he has discernment. So I'm sure God had a talk with him and told him, this is why I had you to write that song. This is the melodies of that song. Because I knew you were going to be here in this situation when that song was going to be released. God knows all, hears all, and sees all. And he's using my brother right now. He's using him to get him away from the people that he had surrounded himself with, that didn't have his best interest at hand. Not from where I'm sitting. Not the stuff I know now that I didn't know back then. I know my brother for over 37 years and never knew half of this stuff was something that he was going through. It's sad. All these people around him just stealing, take it from him. And all you got to do is ask him. He'll get it to you. It may not be right then and there, but you're going to get it. Tell him. You may think that this don't affect your life in a positive way. That he doesn't, but he does. Because I bet you could not erase the gift that God gave him. And that's the right music for people like us and the world to listen to. Robert Sylvester Kelly Sr., Rkelly, is the real victim in my eyes. The scriptures from Acts 16:25-40, I read it every night at midnight because it talks about Paul and Silas being in prison and the chains breaking and the gates opening and guards asking how can they be saved, seeing this miracle happen in this prison. That's going to happen for my brother. I know it. I believe it. And I'm going to keep Romans 4:17 scripture in effect by claiming those things that are not as though they are. And he will be home in due time. I just ask God to put his loving arms around my brother. Ask that it gives him the comfort of knowing that he's there with him. I ask that he be a fence all around my brother every day. Feel his pain, feel his suffering, physical, emotional, and even mentally. Open the gates, Lord. Open the gates to MDC Brooklyn prison and allow my brother to be home for Christmas. There's a little song that said it's not for Christmas, at least by New Year's Eve. I don't know if his daddy has to wear somebody. But please, let my brother come home for Christmas. Please release him from that place. I ask you, Lord, this in your Son Jesus Christ's name. People, my brother Robert Sylvester Kelly, Rkelly, is a human being. He's a loving, caring person that do not deserve to be behind nobody's bars. Not off of accusations and scorned relationships. He doesn't deserve this. Bring him home, Lord. Bring him home. America, wake up. Because again, today may be him, but tomorrow may be you or your loved one. I love you guys and I thank you for taking this time out this year. The good behind Robert Sylvester Kelly Sr., Rkelly. He's not all bad. We're not all bad. And we're definitely not all good. I love you guys. And again, God bless America's laws.